Hello, we're so excited, guys. We're so excited about this show, about our journey we're about to embark on. But before we get into it, let me see or run down some stuff first. We would like for you to please like and subscribe to our channel and join us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All those links are going to be in the description below. And also, we have a website, www.spiceolife.com.
Oh, life, y'all. That's the life is what I'm talking about.
So thank you for joining us. We're so excited to be back.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
So much going on. We know we didn't transition, parlayed into a new year, but we are super excited because we were to start the new journey. We were to go through some goals we got, and you guys are going to take a ride with us, even be a part of it. And I think it's going to be fun. I am beyond excited about some of the things we're going to discuss today. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun, and you can do this.
Yes.
Once you kind of you're going to get the information. You're going to see it's not rocket science, but there is some things that you're going to want to know. Knowledge is power, guys.
Exactly.
So Angela's going to drop some knowledge, and we're going to talk a little bit about it, and then try to make it even more simplified for you. But I guarantee you this is going to work because we're going to go through the process together. And you'll start seeing the difference from just looking at some of the clips and pictures and the podcasts as we do and stuff.
Exactly. And first of all, I'd like to say that the information that we're going by is my personal experience, as well as a medical document that's written by Craig Clark, but it's medically reviewed by Dr. Poya Shafrapour. So basically, we're going to talk about losing weight and getting back on track. And we're discussing the keto diet. So a lot of questions about the keto diet. I've been introduced to the diet back in 2014. So that was 9 years ago. And off and on, I've been on the keto diet. There's a lot of information on it. So basically, let's start with this.
Let me ask you a question before you get to. So when you was on the diet, did you talk to a doctor, or you just got into it, or did you try to get insight from both sides, from doctors and therapists and fitness people, or how did you?
So basically, how this happened, Christopher, is the fact that I had some issues. I was overweight.
Which y'all should do, by the way. Again, if you got to talk to a doctor, do that. And we ain't trying to tell you not to speak to a doctor.
Exactly.
Anyway, you had some issues.
Yeah, so I had some medical issues going on, and I had to lose the weight. But because I was on I was about to be diabetic. I had my A1C number was up. My cholesterol was up. My body couldn't handle the weight that I had. High blood pressure, all of those numbers was up.
Right.
And my doctor was telling me I need to lose weight. So, and one of the things that he said was the fact that, hey, I'm going to have you back here in about, 4 to 6 months.
Right.
And if these numbers are up, we got to discuss putting you on medication. And one of the things that I thought about too, I have family members that were on diabetic medication, and the A1C, was the target. I think I forgot what it was. Okay, A1C is like a blood glucose level. Your levels for that. So if it's past like 5 or 6, then you're borderline. I was borderline. In fact, it was almost, I think, at 7. I think I was past close to 7, if not at 7.
Okay. So you say A1C, I was like, is she talking about high C or? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you for that.
So my blood glucose level was up. So basically, I was a little bit concerned about that because I didn't want to be on any medication. So the first thing I did was Google what's the best diet for. I put what the top 2 issues that I had. And when I did that, the ketogenic came up, or keto. I'm like, what is that? I had no clue what it was. No clue at all. Yeah. So, but the thing about me, and I'm very analytical, things have to make sense. We're talking about the body, we're talking about medical, we're talking about science. So it needed to make sense to me in that regard. So I went to this site in particular that we are referencing. It was so simple. It explained keto. It came to the science. And what I was able to do was I was able to tailor my diet, keto diet. I read everything about it on this site. It had everything that I needed, and it was simple. And when it made sense to me in a scientific way, I was like, okay, then all right, let me see, let me try this. I lost, I mean, tell you, in 2.5 months, I lost 33 pounds. I was at my goal weight in two
Wow.
and a half months. I mean, that was
Man.
the first time I tried
That's right.
keto, and I lost that weight. I
I
mean, it
remember that. Yeah.
melted off. And another thing, there's other things that I kind of combined with it to kind of accelerate the weight loss. So that is what we're going to discuss today.
That was one of the things I remember before you get into some of what the doctor, the reviewed information is that you two things. This is why I'm so into it is because it was done in what I feel like in a quick way, but it still looked natural. Like you didn't
Yeah.
have nothing hanging off of you, but you was burning through it.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's mind blowing. What's that all about?
Yeah. So my and this is so important. When you embark on a journey like this, it's so important for you to understand how things work, how the body operate. How is this diet going to do, in regards to me? How is it making me lose weight? Make it make sense to me. What in my body is, what is it doing?
Right.
So I needed to know that so that I could, for be beneficial for me. So basically, we'll go ahead and talk about the keto and what it is, because it could be very confusing because and then this is the thing, a lot of people in the past that have done keto have had experienced problems, because let me tell you, you're talking about changing the function of a body and what it does. You're putting the body in a state of what is not naturally used to, which means basically what the keto diet is. It's an ultra low carb. I mean, it's different than low carb in that it's ultra low carb. I mean, you're restricting your carbohydrates to a point where ketones are forming in your liver, which burns fat. So you're changing your body from from the energy, from carbohydrates being the primary energy that it burns, to where it burns fat. So, and there's some things that the body go through when it's changed into that particular state, because when it's changed and switching over, you're going to experience some things that may be uncomfortable. It just depends on the person. They call it keto flu. I mean, you could experience, like, you would think that you're sick, but the body is going through its thing. And then during that time, what you got to do to reduce that keto flu is you got to ease into it. And when I mean by into it, you got to gradually reduce the carbs so that once you get to where you're in a comfortable state my rule is, in order to get at the ultimate carb state, 20 carbs or less. And for me right now, I do 50 carbs or less, But if I really want to burn it fat, and what I did first in 2014, 20, I got 20 or 25 carbs or less.
Yeah.
So basically, according to the site, it's a keto diet is known for being a low carb diet where the body produces ketones in the liver to be used as energy. It's referred to as many different names: the ketogenic diet, low carb diet, low carb high fat, LCHF, etc. So when you eat something high in carbs, your body, let's say before, we're talking about high in carbs, your body produces glucose or insulin. This is the normal way, when your body is using carbohydrates as its main source of energy. So glucose is the easiest molecule for your body to convert and use as energy, so that it will be chosen over any other energy source. And insulin is produced to process the glucose in your bloodstream by taking it around the body. So if you think about that that's scientific now. When you're this is before you embark on a ketogenic diet. your body's used to those carbs. It's so easy for the body to grab the carbs
Right.
and convert it to energy. So, and I'm going to tell you this, just imagine how, and we'll go into that later. Let me not. I'm not going to rush into this because this
Yeah.
is a lot of information.
Yeah.
But just knowing that, and then now let's talk about the ketosis, the state of ketosis. So, ketosis is a natural process that the body initiates to help us survive when the food intake is low. During this state, we produce ketones, which is produced from the breakdown of fats in the liver. It says the end goal of properly maintained keto diet is to force your body into a metabolic state. We don't do this through starvation of calories, but a starvation of carbohydrates. So think about that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't even wrap my head around all that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And guys, you understand the reason why we getting all
Yeah.
this information again because we have already set goals. Is going. You want to understand these basic things that Angela's saying before we start moving forward because the weight loss is going to be interesting. Like we set a goal for like 40 a piece. You may have 30, but you want to have the basic understanding that
Yes.
Angela's talking about before we move forward. But before forward, but listen closely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So our bodies, this is more information at the site saying our bodies are incredibly adapted to what you put in it.
Right.
So when you overload it with fats and take away carbohydrates, it will begin to burn the ketones as the primary energy source. Optimal ketone levels offer many health, weight loss, physical, and mental performance benefits.
So let me ask you before you go further. So you mentioned been hearing ketones and ketone levels. Have we dug into deeply what the ketone levels really mean, or do people or is that something that's going to be talked about further there?
I think it will be talked about further, but I
Okay,
think what you're
because
what
ketones is kind of part of the levels, right?
well ketones, there are different measurement tools that you can use to measure how much ketones you're producing. Like I have like these keto sticks.
But the so oh yeah, go ahead.
So these keto sticks measure the levels. It tells you how much ketones, and normally I use that like every day when I first wake up in the morning. I'll see where my levels are because that'll tell me, okay, what I ate yesterday, whether it was too much, too many carbs, or too less carbs, or
I
I
got
need
you.
to balance it a little bit. So those levels are trace, and then you have small, and then you have moderate, and then high. I think medium, yeah, moderate is like medium, and then you have high.
So will there be like numbers or different colors or shades or something?
Just different shades. So
Okay.
you'll go from like when you don't have anything, it's kind of like a tannish color
Okay.
up until like pink. It'll start with pink and then it'll get darker until really dark
Ah.
purple.
So the darker the better, or the lighter the better.
Well, if it's really dark, that means, oh man, my body have a lot of ketones in it. But
Gotcha.
from my reading or my research, some people say, and this is not, you don't have to go by this. It's good to be moderate because it's just showing that the body is efficiently using the ketones. If it's too high, that means, oh, you not, and you got to think about this. You're talking about a high fat, eating in proteins, but what about the green leafy? Because if you're not getting enough green leafy vegetable, I mean you're going to be constipated. So you got to watch that too, and we'll talk about that as well.
Right.
So I think that when you have a lot of ketones, you just gotta kind of manage it. You know what I'm saying? So I know this for a fact that if I'm eating, like I have to kind of strategize. If I'm going to, because I do intermittent fasting as well, so I either have 2 meals or 1 meal a day. So OMAD, that's a part of it. But if I notice that my ketones have got to be small, then I got to look and see, okay, let me look and see what I need to adjust. So normally I probably would reduce where I have my carbs like at the beginning of my eating cycle, and then probably more lower carbs at the end of it, so that I could be a little bit better. It's like a little balance that I kind of play with that. So that's how you measure. And also you can prick your finger, one of those glucose meters. It'll tell you, you know, where you are as well. But I normally use the keto stick because
Yeah.
it's easier for me to look at and to see, oh, there we go. I'm doing good, or I need to make some adjustments.
So either you stick yourself or you use the stick. Got it. I got it.
Yeah.
I probably use the stick. Got it.
Yep. Yep.
That
Yep.
makes
Yep.
sense.
Yeah. So one of the things, we discussed about what the ketogenic diet is, what the purpose is. You want to burn the fat. Let me tell you, I had a lot of fat to burn. Even now, and let me go ahead and say this. We've started keto already. And tomorrow will be, not tomorrow, Monday was that, in a couple of days, 2 days, we'll have completed a whole week.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you now, I feel the benefits of the ketogenic already. Maybe because my body's like, my body it loves it. It loves for me to reduce the carbs. Because let me tell you, before I was on keto, I had so many different things going on. And even you. So tell me, Christopher, tell me how you feel now. I mean, I know it's been, 6 days.
Right.
How do you feel now versus,
Well,
before you started?
yeah, like you said, I noticed a difference. You start to feel a little less uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and you able to have a little bit more energy to do stuff.
Yeah.
Which is important because I want to you want to add your activities. My goal anyway, and I'm sure most people are going to do this, and you'll probably even talk about it, is to add your activities to how you eat. And so because of keto, it's allowed me to start doing that a little quicker. I
Yeah.
think for me, if I wasn't doing it, the way we're doing it, it would be harder to be more active because I already started out maxing out. Well, this time anyway, maxing out close to like 211.
Yeah.
So, to try to have your body like, let's just go out there and do something and not start the keto. But my point is, it's great. And I've started the keto side before I really got too deep in my physical fitness side, which I've started as well. So it's great.
Yeah.
It's good.
And another thing too, when we first, because this week, we got in 5 days of walking. Now it's been a while since we done that.
Even in this weather too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's freezing.
Yeah.
It's freezing out there.
Yeah.
We're talking about really cold.
That wind is like, hello.
But
Yeah.
because I think thanks to the ketones, now we're producing ketones, the benefits of that, we're able to get out there. We're able to say, come on, let's go out here. Let's do it. Let's layer up. We don't just get out there in this cold weather. And, we're talking about freezing temperatures.
Right.
So we layer up and go out there and do what we got to do. We doing our thing. And let me talk about the exercise too. That helps with the burn of the fat as well. So always, you ain't got to go out there and bust your behind and doing all this crazy workout. Some people do, but do something. Walking does help. It's beneficial as well. You're going to experience the benefits or rewards of the weight loss too. I would team both of those together as far as, being on the keto and then making sure you're doing some form of exercise. Low impact would probably be better when you first starting, because what's going to happen is you're going to, the more strenuous workout that you're doing, the hungrier you're going to get. And you want to wait until you're in a keto adapted state, which we'll discuss later, before you start, doing, really strenuous workouts. Let's get this body prepared. Let's get this metabolic state, let's get it rolling before you, do a lot more. So now we discussed, Chris, I asked you how you was feeling. So I can tell you this. for me, when I first started, we started keto, but when I got out there walking, I was, it had been a few weeks, I would say a few weeks, in between. We wasn't regularly walking. Plus, with the amount of days that we did this week, and it's cold, that's a big plus for us.
Mm-hmm.
But I was compared, like I walked today compared to when we first walked this week. I feel better. I feel that I'm able to get up those hills a little bit, up those hills better because I've had experienced lower back pain first 2 days. Now I don't have that. I was winded, but
Yeah.
I know that you're better at walking up those hills, and I'm lagging behind Chris trying to catch up
Mm.
to him.
Yeah.
But I felt that I was doing better, you
Well,
know.
the wind doesn't help. We were talking about it when we were walking. Like the wind literally can take your breath away. How cold it is, but compared to that first day, you can just feel. I see the increase in you too. Like every time we go out there, I can see the pep, the
Yeah,
pep.
yeah, more
Like we
pep.
may walk a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, whatever. Um, and no matter how many miles we walk, I notice the pace is getting good.
Yes.
Um, Cold, being extremely cold. Some people love the winter, so it may not be this experience, but being where we are on this closer to the equator, I guess, um, the pep,
Mm-hmm.
the wind, and all that is not something we deal with a lot,
Yeah.
and so, but yeah, every time we go, it's like once I get rolling, I'm good. I feel
Oh
good,
yeah.
and my pace is good. Yours is too, but hills, hills and wind sometimes can be like, hey, 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 hey,
Yeah, it's like, whoa. I mean, that's how that wind
calm
was
down.
like, woo. I mean, it was
Yeah,
pushing us back.
yeah, it was windy, and that's not normal for this area. But
No, it's not.
hey, we didn't use it as an excuse, so I'm proud of that. That's another thing. You like motivated, like, oh, I'm proud of that. I'm good. I
Exactly.
don't know how you felt about it, but I was like, yeah, I'm excited
Oh
now.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was excited about it.
Yep.
So those are some of the benefits that we got. And along with mental clarity, I feel better each day when these ketones are producing. And that's one thing I want to talk about is the benefits. Just a few of the benefits. If we run a little bit over, it's gonna be a
Huh?
part two. Or
Yeah.
we can discuss the benefits part two. I'll read to you what some of the benefits, because everybody is different, as far as experience of the benefits.
Hmm.
But as like right now, I can tell you, I'm in a better state of mind. Just feel like myself again, and I'm not gonna cry on here because I'm
She back,
telling you,
y'all.
I'm telling you,
Hmm.
I think
Let it go.
I think that Ben, I think before we started this, and that's what I'm saying. I'm motivated this time. This weight's got to come
I
off.
see it too.
It has to come off. I see myself there,
Hmm.
and I see myself being, we're gonna this weight is gonna come off, and it's gonna come off with well, I don't know how fast, but that depends on me. But some of the tools and things that we're going to do, we'll discuss on this show. So stay tuned. Make sure you're following us, because we have a lot of things to discuss about the keto and what our progress is that's going to help you as well if you decide to do this. But if you're not, because let me tell you, there are some precautions for people that are diabetic. Like this, you have to talk to your doctor about this, because I'm telling you, there is a thing called ketoacidosis, I think, or something. Hopefully,
Yeah,
I'm saying it right.
that's it.
But if you are diabetic, you probably can't. I don't think you'll be able to do this because of some of the side effects it is.
Yeah.
So please talk to your physician about this. But I know
If
I
you get
said,
the, and let me just add this because I don't, I hate to cut across you,
no, that's
but
fine. You good.
if you get the green light once you consult and get the green light from a medical professional, um, and that's your prerogative. You whether you think you do or not. Don't let your brain your own. If your body is telling you it can't be done, listen to your body. But if your mind is saying negative stuff, that's different. You got to push through those kind of things because it's normal. We all can talk ourselves out of something, but physically, if the physical is communicating, please talk to somebody, get that taken care of. And even sometimes with the mind, we may have to talk to somebody.
Hmm.
But if the mind or whatever, a lot of that we can push through. And that's kind of like what we're going to be talking about too, because we're going to encourage each other and we're going to try to encourage you guys, but not beat you up or anything, but just let you know you're not alone in your journey.
Yeah.
So,
And it's a hard journey too. So when you have the encouragement, when you have the motivation, when there's, you can watch someone that is, successful in the journey, it helps as well because, that helps me. And being
yeah.
able to talk about it and help others too, that helps us both.
Yeah.
So we would
And
love to
I've seen
hear.
you, well, I know we both done, but I've seen you do it. You motivated me just about, especially back in the day, you wasn't messing around. You just did it without thinking about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because I knew how important it was for me to do this, and I did not. I repeat, I did not want to be on any medication. I was on the verge of being able probably be on multiple medications
Yeah.
because and I'm going to say this, I put myself in that position because I was eating a lot of foods that I shouldn't have when my body really couldn't, adjust to all the carbs, all the sweets and stuff at that time. But I did lose the weight really fast and I was so surprised and shocked. And everybody, everybody and everybody, I can say this for everybody, is that when you are losing the weight in that rate, at that speed, that is a motivation in itself. So we're going to continue this discussion in part 2.
Yeah. So this is an ongoing thing because it's going to be a process. Even if we have other little subjects, we're still in between time keeping track of this because we're starting this together. So, yeah, this guys, see how time flies, and we still got so much more to go. So
We
much.
got so
Yeah.
much more to go.
It's going to be fun. I'm telling you, you're going to enjoy it. You're going to love it. That's why they call it the Spice Soul. Oh,
Oh,
whoa, whoa.
whoa, whoa. Live. Part 2 coming up next.